Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future,
Oh.
you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I too am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey guys, you know that bit by Babylon Bee is so important to the series we're doing right now. That's why I play it, because it's ironic how times and things are flipping. By the way, today's program is Social Experiment Part 3, right? Social Experiment Part 3. We did Part 1. I hope you tuned into it, because this is a multi-part series about what is going on. They all kind of intra-connect together. Part one is, can you be made to shun God? I know that's kind of a weird, right, item, and you think, no way. Part two was what the villains actually put into play to control you. And then, of course, part three is destroying the invisible glue that holds America together. That's what we're covering today. Immediately following this program, I will jump over to my locals and we'll continue to discuss, there is so much to discuss, the peer review going on or has gone on of all of the forensic evidence that was acquired at the Maricopa full forensic audit. Key that you understand what was found and why peer review matters from people that actually are qualified to do peer review and look at it. Here's what I would like you to do. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. I'm just asking you to, well, go there to jovanlovesgold.com, and my partners at Goldco will send you a free gold and silver kit. It's so you can understand why now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. I cannot stress to you enough of a head start. I am worried about the digital dollar, etc. coming. You need to hedge your bets, just like insurance on your car, insurance on your home, etc. Please, just go get the information. You're an adult. Make a decision that's right for you by going to jovanlovesgold.com. And by the way, you might qualify to get up to $10,000 in extra silver if you do it. And by the way, it's the time of year when it's cold outside for you to get prepared for the next year. One of the things you can do, you know, we have a bestseller called The Food Forest Bible. Plan, P-L-A-N, a garden, and then plant it. This particular type of garden called a food forest is amazing, and it will produce for your family decades and decades, centuries and centuries. The oldest one's about 4,000 years old. Make sure you, when you get one, you'll see other ones. They knocked it off. I did an ebook as well on it. People bought it, they hack it, they knock it off. Of course, it's not my work and it's not really what I did, but they're trying to copy it because it's a bestseller. So subsequent ones, I'm not putting out ebooks anymore. I'm just not doing it. It's just giving away your work, etc. We taught you how to do it with fruit as well. Don't wait years and years. You can actually use a particular type of hack to make the fruit tree produce right away. And by the way, if you don't like at all digging or weeding, we take care of that too for you. Okay, I want you to share this program. And I just want to say, God bless you to all of you out there that have been participating in making sure the full forensic archive survives everything that's going on. We're going to have a hard time in the midterms. They're going to win the down ticket. I'm talking about the bad system, the deep state. They're going to go and impeach President Trump again. The only evidence in the world that was physically collected, backed by the paper. Remember, you muck with the ballot, that's a felony. You muck with the machine, at most it's a misdemeanor. So why would you keep focusing on the machines where you have no enforcement? Why wouldn't you focus like on Arizona and have 1 million consecutive criminal indictments? That's the difference. So we're asking everybody to help protect us at worst case outside of court cases for President Trump, for the Supreme Court. Once the term's over, it will be turned over to the Trump Library. It's a massive amount of data, and that's where future historians can not only repeat it all, but continue to study about what happened in our elections and how to fixed them, and you guys made that happen. You're part of history. This is your legacy too. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that has worked to make that happen. It's super key. Anyway, share this program. We're going to do part 3. Let's get started right after this.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
Warning. The following program has been rated Gilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians? The elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd. Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer, he's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics, they all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, what we're doing here, this is part 3 in an episodic series I'm doing that's based on a social experiment. It's part 3. And this one's titled Destroying the Invisible Glue That Holds America Together. In real short order, you've seen a lot of anti-Semitic rhetoric. You've seen it all over the place. It is by design, but most people do not really know its intended purpose. And that's what I'm unpacking in this series. So you understand what I've done here. I've gone to artificial intelligence and said, look, if we want to destroy America and we want people, meaning the bad guys, to turn away from faith or whatever, how do you do that so you can destroy America? What would the evil person do? But also I juxtapose in a hero in the story. What would a hero need to do to combat it? And artificial intelligence started basically spitting out the plan. What I'm going through with you is the plan in phases. And each time I do this, you're going, holy smokes. That stuff's happening. And that it is. Now I'm going to show you a few things first before we get started, because it's relevant to today's portion of it. You need to understand the modern warfare weapon is social media. We live at a time where we have more knowledge and access to knowledge than we've ever had before. At the same exact time, humankind is getting dumber and dumber. And we think we got to get it in short bites. I'm going to show you some of this psychological influence, and because we're going to talk about that today, but I want to show you how some of it goes. Now, one thing is to basically sell a message that God's wrong. Here's one of the newest ones circulating.
I think we all agree, I do, that Christmas isn't trans enough, so this is our decree to fill it with transgender stuff. What if Jesus was transmasculine and Santa was Saint Nicholas? What if all we want for Christmas is HRT for all of us? It's gonna be a transgender Christmas. We're T for T under the mistletoe. Ho, ho, ho. It's gonna be a transgender Christmas. We'll bury last year's place cards in the snow. This year we're setting boundaries with our families. We'll yassify the Christmas tree. We're harvesting my chestnuts and roasting them out back. I traded she and her for him and he, and now my dad's in therapy. The elf is on the shelf, and yes, I'm talking about my rack. This is our transgender Christmas. We'll stocking stuff our genders in your face. That's right, a very merry transgender Christmas. If you misgender us, we'll spray your ass with mace. You might not feel dysphoric in an ugly sweater. Sing along and you'll feel better, as long as I got you and you got me. We deserve this transgender Christmas. Spend holidays with chosen family. This is our transgender Christmas. We'll celebrate the way we're meant to be. You can't spell Christmas without T.
Except you can, because the T is silent.
It's silent, but we are not.
We will not be silent.
We will never be silenced.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes. But it's psychological warfare. I'm going to show you two more that are trending right now.
Feiglinge, verreiter Versager!
So in that one, the goal is to convince you that everything you think is bad in the world, from the assassination of JFK to 9/11 to transgenderism to pedophilia to the death of Christ, is all Jews and Jew conspiracy. Here's the last one. We're going to do a little fact checking on this because I want you to understand how this works and why this works, as people are inherently lazy. Combine that with apathy and you can take over a nation, because people never check the facts.
They invented Hebrew language in 1896, and they lie to you. They tell you that it's old language, is bullshit. It was this Russian Zionist who then moved to Palestine. He invented this language for the Zoo Project. Of course, it's fake. He took 80% of Arabic words and then wrote this book also. This guy is a nutcase. So Hebrew is 80% Arabic with Yiddish alphabets. Here's the proof. Hebrew, Yiddish. Hebrew, Yiddish. Hebrew, Yiddish. Exactly same letters, exactly same language. In addition, they lie to you about Phoenician script. This is a script, has nothing to do with the Germanic language. This is a script, that's a language. And to confuse you further, they add fiction to reality. The fiction is religious fiction. Solomon's Temple, Kingdom of Judah, that's all fiction, has nothing to do with reality. The Old Testament was written in Arabic. This is the oldest Old Testament from 10th century, supposedly, and you can find it in the Library of Congress. Yes, Old Testament was written in Arabic. 90% of Jews were Arabs, and they always spoke Arabic. They invented the Hebrew language in 1896. This Russian Jew invented this language for the Zoo Project. In the Library of Congress, you can pull all the Hebrew manuscripts, and when you find the oldest one is actually in Arabic. The rest are in Yiddish. This is the oldest Yiddish Bible or Hebrew Bible. That's what they call it. It's actually a Yiddish Bible. This is what they say to you. They literally mix Yiddish and Hebrew. It's Yiddish. It's literally same language. So this is the oldest Yiddish Bible. You can also find it in the Library of Congress. It's 300 years old.
So do you know what the truth is? Now you can see all of the elements in there. And this one coincides with what's going on. It's the Jews, they're invading the world. It's total insanity. But to a weak mind, it can grab a hold. Just so you have the actual facts, right? Just so you know, the Hebrew language, by the way, Arabic is also Semitic. They don't tell you that. But the language was being spoken in ancient Canaanite from 1200 to about 1000 BC is really when it started. The Hebrew inscriptions go back to the 10th century BCE. He kind of told you it was brand new and invented, right? This is all fact. The Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, right, what is called the Biblical Hebrew, it's been around between the 10th and 6th centuries before Common Era, before the exile. The bottom line is, right, and people, so few people will go research it. They will just believe it, right? But he said they invented it, and he invented, it was Yiddish and it was whatever, and people don't even understand that, right? The Hebrew language, written and spoken, had been around for thousands of years. You must understand, and I've always told you, this is made to confuse, and they'll use some truths, about 70% truth, and then they'll twist it, right? They'll twist it. It's all out there to understand, and it's all out there to literally be researched, but people don't research. Now, people, well, Yiddish or whatever it's new, invented in 1896. Let me tell you what that goes to, right? Basically, you have Hebrew, the ancient language of Hebrew. There is something that is called Yiddish, which is a derivative. It's a Germanic dialect, Slavic dialect of Hebrew. That's the basically Ashkenazi, right? That's kind of how it got mixed. And so don't confuse Hebrew and classical Hebrew with this stuff. But here's what they're trying to do. When he said it was invented in 1896, here's new words or whatever. Let me give you an example. What they're doing is they're taking a fact that a word was created, right? Starting about right at the turn of the 1900s, words were created. Things like automobile, phone, democracy. Do you follow how this twist is done? Every year, there are new words added to the dictionary. But this is how the system does this, right? And then there can always be variations from countries. Some of you will call your father dad. Some will call it father. Some will call papa. Same derivation, same original. And so this is what's being fed to our children. most will never dig deep in research, and that's what they rely on. Now, that particular part of propaganda is to basically try to convince you that Israel's inauthentic, Hebrew's inauthentic, and it was Arabs first. This is the battle. So this is about destroying the invisible glue that holds the United States of America together. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through this process of how it works. So let's start here. Here's what happened. This is designed to attack trust, not to tank anything. On its own, it can't tank it. It needs people to buy into it to tank the system, to tank the beliefs. So how do you get people to buy into this crap? Well, what it is it attacks trust. So when a faith community, it doesn't need to be invaded to be crippled. We are so past the times that it's invaders at your door that show up and kill all the males and rape all the women and take all the kids, or you got to convert to this faith or we'll cut your head off, although that is coming back in America thanks to Islam. But the way it's done now is digitally and socially. Now, this is what's going on. Remember, I talked about, can this be made? This is the base premise. Can you be made to shun God? That is the premise. Do you think the system can get you to repel God, to refute God, to say God is crap? Many people will say no, but they use their plans to do this. And so that's why I've covered, here's what they put into play. And this is the module on, okay, it's the glue. So let's kind of go through that. How it works by invasion is society becomes paralyzed by mutual suspicion. I'll give you kind of a reminder. Our one best-selling book, Countdown to Chaos, which we explained what happened in 2020 by about going backwards. We explained this is an act of chaos. The system wants chaos. What you saw in 2020 was planned before. 2020 was the chaos point. All of this thrives off of chaos. So society-wise, what you want to do is you want to paralyze society by mutual suspicion. And you want to have people to withdraw. I can't go out. I'm not going into events. People are so whacked. That's what the system needs. It also needs to basically get people to turn against themselves. It needs to pit people against each other. I guarantee you got affected in the 2020 election. Family members, friends, longtime associates. If you voted for Trump, they'd cut your ass off. This is all part of a plan. Now, let's talk about how do they get it to stick in place. The system, this rhetoric, offers people an emotionally satisfying lie. And the lie works because of its simplification. You're suffering in pain, and they're just going to give you a simple enemy. You see the system being destroyed around you. You see it going on. You're hurting everywhere, from your pocketbook to your politics to your neighbors or whatever. But they offer a simple focus. It's just like they offer George Soros. When I told you long ago, probably the first person that said it, he's paid by our system to be the evil guy. And you found out through USAID that was true. They give you just a simple thing to focus on. Now, the turn in that simple, because most people have been trained to do it, becomes the blame game. It's their fault. And if you buy into it's the Jews and you buy into this, what they kind of hold you up as is, well, you're one of the few who see the truth. We're the truth tellers versus the sheep. You can't see it. The Jews run everything. Can you understand how this kind of picking of teams works? And this is what the system needs. Why? A very interesting thing happens. You watch this happen, just so you understand how this happens. You watch this happen in anything environmental. Yeah. Instead of like Texas's program way back when, Don't Litter, or anything like that, environmentalism has now become its own religion with religious fanatics. See, that's what the system creates. Now, in this getting you to shun God, that's where they rolled the Jews in. Why? In this plan, what happens is it kind of grows gradually, just like the environmental movement. And then suddenly, the plot doesn't flip overnight. What happens is, I'm just asking, I just want to know. And it kind of morphs into a lot of discussion on alternative media. Here's what happened. That's when the movement actually kind of turns into a quasi-religion. And this one, it's the Jews, is a religion based on resentment. Think of the Greta Thunberg idiot. You're killing my life. I'm going to die in 5 years. That's where it turns into, it becomes a cult in itself. That's where it becomes a quasi-religion. Now, this one that they need to happen is based upon, just like the environmental stuff, fear for your life. The world's going to end. Gore told us, 25 years ago, the world was going to end in 5? It's fear. Now, that fear kind of transmorphs. There's that trans word, right? But that's what happens. Fearful. And you adopt it, movement, then become its quasi-religion. Now, this one that's going on right now is a religion based on resentment. They went to work on white supremacy, privilege, colonialism. That set the foundation with our youth. Then they went to the next step, and the next step was, we got to have somebody to blame for it. The cracks in the wall, white supremacy, white privilege, colonialism, transphobia, all of these do little cracks in the wall. When they set the cracks in the wall, they've got to give you somebody to blame. They have to offer somebody up, because that's too broad of a scope. Even in your subconscious mind, you can't eradicate white people, although people are calling for that. Then what they do is, once they've got all these cracks in the wall, boom, they give you a minority to focus on. And what this becomes, and where we're on the edge right now, it becomes its own quasi-religion that's 100% based on resentment. Okay? Now, this is where, as I've shown you, the propaganda mill kicks in. And people start selectively quoting real sources. I showed you that video for a reason. Look at this. In 1896, it's really Yiddish, and they just manufactured words because it's brand new. The real fact is they added to the Yiddish dictionary. Let's do a comparative right now, okay? Hang on 1 second. And I will just do it in real time. They basically used that as an excuse that there wasn't really Hebrew and it was invented. Okay, what are the new words in the Oxford Dictionary for 2024? So I'm using this, I'm giving you the same little bit bullshit information, right? I'll give you an example. Some of the bullshit information you get out there is track dot. A lot of bullshit going around. If we were to use that same exact basis, well, there was no such thing as Hebrew. It wasn't even a language. It was created. When I showed you, it's when they put in the term for car or electricity or something like that. All of our language morphs over time. And it usually morphs based upon things that happen in events. Like you probably use some colloquialisms like they got Hillaried. He got a Lewinsky. You follow what I'm saying? Hang on, I'm trying to get the systems to answer. It's running a little behind. Hang on. Let me see if I can get some. All the system seems to be lagging. I just want to touch into how even our own language morphs. Now, you know, for as long as any of the language that you now know as English been used, you can go back into history and see where it comes from. But if something changes in the dictionary this year and somebody goes, look, say this white racist colonial language was only invented in 2024. Look, here's a word. They just stuck in this word. They created the language. Not real, not true, and it's not how it works. And so this is how they drive some of those conspiracies. They've got to use little bitty pieces that are completely manufactured out of context. And then what they do is they tailor it to what you see going on online. And now this is what is going online right now. Look at the Jews. It's the Jews this, it's the Jews that. That's how they drive this home. That is actually what's going on at the very moment as we talk about this. Now, I explained earlier, right? Okay. Let's see. Let me get a few of these words. Hang on. Okay. Can I get all 10 in there? I'll just do this. I'm going to show you this. If we use the same BS rhetoric that I showed you on that one piece trying to tell you everything was Islamic, and this is why people don't dig. Say the word was just created. This is it. They just created the language. Well, if we applied that same BS logic, we could be 100 years from now saying, well, English wasn't really real. They didn't speak white colonialism. It was African. Well, if we just looked at what even in 2024, here's the new words: wokery, safe word, forever chemical, swear box, right? A box or a container where people put money as a penalty each time they swear. Baby Chino, a cafe drink for kids. Free cycling, reused by somebody getting it for free. Mic drop, third wheel. Does that mean the language was instantly created? Now, there are people that will see that video, young people will see that video and never bother to fact check. And that's what the system needs. Now, as they do this, because remember, the base root of this is to get you to shun God. As you see this going on, they're putting out all kinds of propaganda. Let me show you this one. How about this? The goal of the Jewish international world conspiracy opposing us is in the extermination of our folk. That's Adolf Hitler in 1945. The goal of the Jewish international world conspiracy opposing us is the extermination of our Volk, our folk. Hitler in 1945. Now, what people don't even know about that, and you can see it, I mean, it's all over the place. This is called a swindler's list. Those people don't even know the person consulting Hitler on how to do this was one of these disaffected Arabs that hated Jews. This playbook's being run again. This playbook is being run again. Now, here's why that is so key and why I say, can you be made to shun God? Because it's happening. See, if you attack Jewish history by attacking Jews, you also attack Christianity. All of these guys are saying you better be Muslim, or if you don't convert, you're going to die. It's all repeating itself. Every bit of it. Because they're saying Islam is the one true religion. Come on. See, people, again, don't understand this attack. They need you to hate Jewish people because Christianity's roots are Jewish. Jesus was Jewish. The apostles were Jewish. The early church acknowledges and saw itself as grafted into the people of Israel. Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, is the foundation of Christian scripture. Now, you know this, but think of the people that don't. Right now, they're working on the weakest minds. And that's why they kind of go through this. That's why I had to do it in parts. Because you have to understand how it works, and you have to understand what it's about, because it's all about destroying the glue that binds us. We're in the middle of this right now, folks. Now, what happens to make this stick a little bit deeper? Okay. Here's how it's all tied together when it comes to your faith. What happens is anti-Semitism becomes its own fake religion. What it does is it reframes the Christian identity. It's going to get you away from repentance or humility or love thy neighbor. And where it goes is, ready? It basically makes you divide. It's that hyphen again. It makes you divide, where people will start adopting, well, we're pure, and it's the Jews that did it, and we're fighting the evil cabal. You see how that works? Now, as this goes on, it begins to split inside churches. That's where this needs to get. Just like you see woke politics inside churches, pastors coming out drag, teaching all this stuff. You're watching it happen in real time. Now, as this gets deeper into the churches, some pastors will leave, but they're going to get replaced in a vacuum by political or radical preachers. You don't think it can happen? What happened with the pandemic with teachers? When teachers said, screw this, I'm not teaching, what did the vacuum get replaced with? Woke, political teachers. The same plan's being run. So at the church level, pastors who won't stand for it are being pushed out, and they're getting replaced with political or woke or radical preachers. Now, an interesting thing happens. Younger generations will begin to look at the church and think, this is just hate in a cross costume. They'll see it for what it is, but they will associate the church with spreading hate. That's what the system needs. The system needs young people to see the church become hateful, because they need the young people to walk away from church and faith. This is all about getting you to shun God. Now, as they roll out this process, and this is what's going on right now, folks, we are smack dab in the middle of this. The system is pushing, now sped up, that a theological lie. People will tell you, even in posts today, God abandoned the Jews. He only favors Christians. He told the Jews, you're out of here. It's the Christians or political group. See, that's a moral lie, that hating or harming Jews is defending the truth. You see how they offer the substitute. You're watching this go on right now. Well, they killed Christ. Jesus Christ. There is no Jesus Christ. There's Jesus, the Cristo. It's all subtle. But what happens is you begin to buy into this. Now, it's easy to see how this kills the nation, but what we're talking about is, can it shun you from God? And young people are going, this is crap, I don't want any part of it. But what happens is this particular heresy, right? This particular heresy is what hollows out Christianity from the inside. See, on the outside, the churches will still meet. But on the inside, they're worshiping fear, not God. I'll give you an example. It's what happened with woke churches. They basically changed the theology, and we don't hate, and we don't isolate anyone, and we embrace everyone, and we're not going to kill trans people because the system wants to kill trans people. It's already happened. It's just now creeping into the other parts of it. That's why on the outside, you kind of see churches still meet. But on the inside, when you look at it, they're worshiping fear, not God. That is part of the plan. You've already seen it happen in sections. Now, what goes on and what the system has to push here, the system begins through this undermining that it insists institutional church or corporations or government or banks is a control tool of the supposed secret cabal of Jews. You've heard that, right? It's the Jews and the money system and the Garacera and Tifra-Frickerbert and Fractal, Dactyl and this, the Jews and the banks, and they planned it all in 9/11. Here's why. See, what they don't want, they're not trying to convert you to another faith. That's not the goal. They're trying to detach people from any source of moral community that might resist them. I'll give you an example. Resist the Jews, you throw away the 10 Commandments. Resist Jewish law, you throw away even our Constitution. They're not trying to get you to, per se, adopt a new theology. They're basically saying, well, you get, because these people, why have the Jews gotten isolated? Because they didn't agree to the system crap. They openly marked themselves that we're not doing it. It's the same thing that happened with masks, folks, with the pandemic. Oh, you're not wearing a mask. You're one of those people. You want to kill people. Same bullshit. So in a system where people stay to their faith and stay to God's word, it enables people who buy into this stuff. It enables people to buy into this stuff that makes them resist anything that's moral. Now, as this plays out, which is going on right now, this is happening in real time. See, I did this as part of a social experiment. I'm going to show you how to push back on it well, but people will think I can't be made to shun God, and that's why I've done it in parts. What the villains actually put into play control you, and now how do they destroy the glue? It's a process. It's always been a process. Here's what's happening in real time, and you've got to understand they're allowing and justifying the scapegoating of a tiny majority. What it ends up doing is a test case for killing equal protection. You know, our system is built upon equal protection under the law. Remember our Bill of Rights? Remember our Constitution? Remember our founding fathers? This is the corrosion. If it can convince you on this Jewish cabal thing, this is the test run, right? This is the test run that it will allow people to accept killing of equal protection. Jews are only about 2% of the U.S. population. But did you know it accounts for 69% of all religious-based hate crimes in the United States of America? And it doesn't matter that we haven't had equal protection. That's the goal, the erosion. You can say we haven't had equal protection in a long time. They're only going to the point, see, I told you the Bill of Rights and Constitution was outdated. That's the plan. You've got to get rid of those things. Now, what happens when you allow this and you put it out there? It becomes normalized in society. It is okay to harass them. And when people begin, it's happening online right now. It is okay to harass the Jews because they're part of the evil cabal that destroyed everything. And people pile on. It's the nature. People pile on. What you've done is you have got the population to toss out the idea that you have to treat everybody equal or treat them with respect. Now, once this is accepted against the Jews, then they just go to the next level. See, the end game isn't just anti-Semitic ways. It's about making unequal treatment normal. It's about making unequal treatment normal. Your rights went away with the pandemic when you didn't wear a mask, but you were treated unequally. This is where it has to go. This is what's underway. They chip away at it time and time again because this is about us becoming an enslaved population. Now, right now, it's on that cusp, that precipice of being accepted against the Jews. It's just the way it is. They're clearing this hurdle. They're clearing this hurdle. And what they're justifying is unequal treatment is normal. We're not going to arrest BLM for burning and stealing and whatever. That's just protesting. It's already happening, folks. This is the formula. Okay? Now, we're at the critical point right now. And I think you can see it everywhere, that people cannot agree on basic facts anymore. I see this all the time. I'll give you a prime example. Because it played out in the election integrity world, where everything needed full forensic audits to understand what happened. It got hot swapped. No, canvas first, full forensic audits are a grift. Canvas first. And then if something's wrong, we'll do a full forensic audit. It was only designed to make the clock run out, okay? Only designed to make the clock run out. Now, here we are, and I'll just use this example. Here we are 5 years later. Tina Peters is sitting in prison for something she actually wasn't the one that did. Now, I can point out the basis of what Tina got sold was we detected an algorithm, a 6-degree polynomial, and we can prove it, and we just need somebody to work with us, and you're going to be a hero to the world. Did that work prove any of it? No. At all. It didn't. But what happened? Tina got put in jail. Now, when other people, outside sources like we did, had all of that math, because the formula was published, peer-reviewed, we can show you. It's like winning the lottery, the mega lottery, 3,479 times in a row, and doing that for 1 million plus years. Every time. Get it? Now, faced with that fact that that was all bullshit. But can everybody get along? They're fighting this too. Can't everybody get along? They're in election integrity too. Are they really? But you see how that equivocation comes in? Because even when proven wrong, people will defend it. Well, but they're nice and they pray to God. They're nice and they're in the fight. Are they in the fight? See, this is what happens. People can't even look clearly at this. And that's why people can't even agree on basic facts. You can be shown the absolute truth, undeniable, proven over and over, mathematically, forensically, and everything, but you can't even agree on it. See, because once shared reality is gone, the rule of law and peaceful politics become almost impossible. I'll give you a good example. Everybody wants our elections fixed. One side wants to give you possibilities in Venezuela, which cannot be used in American courts. And all the rules about the machines, EAC, HAVA, are voluntary. The other side of the equation, every time you muck with a ballot, it's a federal and state offense. One's prosecutable, one's not. But supposedly both sides want the same thing. It sounds familiar. It smells familiar. It looks familiar. But you completely shy away from the fact that the system built in excuses. Now, that's either ignorance or it's planned deception. But the bottom line is there's no shared reality. And when there is no shared reality, the rule of law and peaceful politics become impossible. And you're seeing it happen in election integrity. If we're going to stop it, we got to put these rat bastards away. We got to work on these felonies. Well, no, it's the machines. And we get it? People fight each other when supposedly have the same common cause. You're watching this unfold. You are watching this unfold. And this is going on every day, every single day in the United States of America. I want you to look at this screen. Okay? I want you to ingest it. I want you to ingest it. You either want to play for the end game and get it right, but even in what's going on in the United States, you can't get common consensus, right? You can't get common consensus. And if you can't get common consensus, what goes to court? Get it? And what you've seen repeatedly go to court are the very things that even the rules say can't be prosecuted. This is happening everywhere. This is happening across every spectrum of politics, everything that we're trying to get fixed, everything that we know we need to correct. Okay? But let's give that. It's kind of like what's going on with Smartmatic. I did a program on this. Right now, you're hearing a lot about Smartmatic. Smartmatic in Venezuela and whatever. I'm going to have somebody on that says, we're about to get the Smartmatic code. Don't screw it up. We're about to get it. Let me ask you a question. You know how many states there are in the United States? And see, this is why people don't dig. You need something to hang your hat on that's easy to understand. Here's an easy to understand. Smartmatic software did it. That's easy to understand. Right? You know what's hard to get your head around? What is hard to get your head around? Here's what's harder to get your head around. In all of our states, we have 175,000 roughly voting precincts. 175,000 voting precincts. That's a pretty big number, right? How many of those, or how many places in the elections used Smartmatic? You're seeing this everywhere. Smartmatic whistleblower. You're seeing it all over, right? There's 175,000 voting precincts in the United States of America. How many use Smartmatic? Only one county, Los Angeles County. I want you to think about that. It's a subtle shift because you need something to blame. The whole freaking system's corrupt. But see, you need something to blame that is short, that is small, that is concise. It's how this works. So you buy into, oh, somebody from Venezuela, they used it there. Oh my God, you can't prosecute on Venezuela. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We got to get rid of it. We're going to get Smartmatic voice code, and we're going to. One single fucking county out of 3,400 or 500, whatever the number is, 175,000 voting precincts, one singular county used it. So let me ask you a question. If you stop it in that one county, because that's the only one that uses it, did you fix the elections in the United States of America? All of the system works this way for everything. This is why I teach. I'm not a headline reader. People will get on and read headlines that other people wrote about or talked about, and that's their topic for the day. That's horseshit. See, if you don't know how the system does it to us, you can't defend against it. And here you go. Think about this one. I'm giving you a real-time example you're seeing now. How many people are screaming, Smartmatic in Venezuela? It's all been used to destroy the reality of what's going on. Because once shared reality is gone, rule of law and peaceful politics become impossible. When you understand that 175,000 places out there where people vote, one little bitty portion of a county used it. And that's what you hang your hat on. The other is saying, no, look, we got to fix it right. Now you understand why this is happening now? We're literally at this critical point right now. See, here's what's going on. America is not invaded. Granted, They brought in tons of illegals to manipulate the system. But the invasion is not really that. See, America's unraveling from within. And if this works and they give you enough things to divide over, what happens is neighborhoods turn into hostile camps. You've seen this happen before, like the Watts riots or the riots, in LA way back when with the Furman shit. Neighborhoods can turn into hostile camps. Churches are splitting. Churches have lost moral authority. You actually see that courts and elections, in fact, are rigged. The question is the cabal, but here's how that ties in. That's how attack the Jews with lies becomes an attack at Christianity's root. And it attacks America's ability to function. See, you're only in the following phases of it. Why is this? Because I told you. Attacking the Jews is a 3-for-1 bingo card. That's what I'm trying to help you see the attack. That's why you're seeing so much anti-Semitic rhetoric. If you've watched me for years, 4 years ago, wow, I said, if y'all notice all the anti-Semitic shit going on, and it just kept on getting more and more and more, and then boom, we get October 7th, and people are hating on the Jews and embracing Hamas. Do you understand how this works? We're at the phase. This is how deep this phase is, folks. Now it's come down to the Jews. And they get a 3-for-1. This is the bingo card. They get a 3-for-1. Because, see, if you can attack the Jews, you attack the root of Christianity. Why are so many fucking Muslims being imported? Radical Muslims that want to fucking kill you. It's because it's the plan. It's the domination plan. Do Muslim countries thrive? Do they thrive? Do their children innovate? What's the commonality? Dirt huts, dirty bathrobes, legalized boinking of kids. Women, shut up or we'll kill you. Daughter, don't you have your own individual beliefs or I'll get your brothers to drown you? Don't you understand, folks? And what this does, in this 3-for-1, they cleave you away from Scripture. We get our America's pluralistic law-based system from it. And it's exploiting real modern weaknesses. This is the plan. Now, this, how the Jews are evil, what it becomes is it becomes the mechanism, the true mechanism for change. So how is the Jews are evil becomes an attack on Christianity? What they do is they're weaponizing the contradiction. See, first off, it's theological sabotage. It's pushing the idea in the modern world now that the real people of God are us, not them. People don't even understand what the basic term of chosen people mean. It's not that you're chosen and special and you're going to be protected. That is not what it means. It means you're the ones that are supposed to bring God's law to the world and stay pure, which is what Jews get killed for. Because they won't vary away. And so what happens is you're now seeing this. Well, the real people of God are us, not them. That the Jews are the enemy of Christ. The Jews are the enemy of the nation. when you buy into this and you see it going on, what happens is you got to understand how this connects to every one of us. It is stripping Jesus of the Jewish context. It's turning faith into tribalism. And instead of what it actually teaches, love thy enemies and protect the oppressed, it allows the attacks. And once you allow the attacks, the true attacks, then the system will begin eradicating what they want to eradicate. The bottom line is it's called moral corrosion. Because here's the bottom line. If you're buying into this anti-Jewish stuff and you see it spreading on social media, you see people talking about it, influencers talking about it, congregations are now starting to talk about it. They already got them to betray their core Christian ethics. And you forget things like every person is made in the image of God. But the conundrum is young people can see this stuff. They see it in the woke stuff all day long. They're suppressed in schools and they know it's wrong. They're not allowed to speak about it, but they know in their heart it's wrong. Of course, you got the standard weak ones. But as it creeps into church, which is where it's headed, oh, this is bullshit. You talk about love and mercy, but you're saying the Jews are evil. And young people will say, I'm out. And if you don't believe this, look at the United Kingdom. It's already been put into play and perfected. And now it's here on our shores. This is why. I'm telling you, this is so why. We have to get our elections right. It's the core of everything. You want to fix it all, you got to fix your elections because this is being created on us. Now, I'm going to go over to locals next, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that are coming out with the deep detailing and peer review of what happened in the full forensic audit, which is key. And we have to have your support because it's the only empirical, provable, repeatable evidence out there. And if it goes away, we will never be able to defend against this. Join me over at Locals. Please share this program.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
We've got all the right in the world on our side, and there ain't no reason to be afraid, and there ain't no reason to not take the challenge dead on, because I'm going to tell you who we come from, folks. We don't come from some weak, jellyback, spineless people. That's not who we come from. None of us. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what nation your folks hail from, how much money you got. We all share the same name. We are Americans. And at Bunker Hill, there was Americans. And at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, there was Americans. And at Iwo Jima, raising that flag on Suribachi, it was Americans. And at Pork Chop Hill, there was Americans. Quezon, there was Americans. And on 9/11, there was Americans who ran towards those burning buildings. That is who you share your heritage with. You do not share your heritage with a weak and ineffective people who cower at the sight of trouble. You share your heritage with a strong and brave people who are determined to hold on to their freedom and for the freedom of future generations. Guys, it's time for us to stand up and be that generation. It's time for us to stand strong and proud and remember who we are. That we are Americans. And as long as we stand as the vanguard of freedom in this nation, freedom will survive. Not only survive, it will thrive. So guys, it's time to put on our packs. It's time to fix those bayonets. It's time to get ready. We got a fight on our hands. And our fight is not for us. For all those generations that's going to come behind us. Let's save America, folks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.